What's up, Tallywhackers? Well, I was going to put my hood on the car, get my hood ready to go on the car, and get my hood on, you know, all in one big swoop. But I figured I need to clean up under here first. It's going to be a lot easier without that ginormous hood in the way that barely opens, crawling underneath that thing, repairing what I got to repair. First off, what we're going to do today is we're going to replace this guy. It's been leaking since I put it on. It's really crappy style. These caps just don't seal. Little spring guy, just not a good idea. They might have worked in the past, but they don't work here no more. Unless you really want to buy a good one. These cores are actually pretty hard to find. The original cores, they just mass produce these universal, I don't know, they'll fit about anything master cylinder type cast they come out with now, and cheap tin lids, and I don't know, they just, I have not had any luck finding them that don't leak. And the fluid is so low in this thing right now, pedal don't feel good. I'm tired of putting fluid in it and messing with my brakes, so I'm going to put a new one of those on here today. And while I'm at it, we'll touch up the paint's, you know, been coming off and leaking down and eating my frame down there. I don't know, it's just not good. I need to touch all this stuff back up, put a new master cylinder on there, and rebleed the brakes and see what else we can get done. But that's the project for today. Let's replace this booger. So here's what I'm working with. Got myself a new one. Where'd I get this from? I want to say I got it from Summit. I could have got it from Jegs. I don't even know. Whoever was cheaper. This one was a couple bucks cheaper. I want to say it was Jegs, but it's got a lot better design. It's got the same specs, which means the bore is the same, as far as I know. And the fittings here, dimensions should be the same, so the line should actually just plug right in this. This should be a pretty easy task, but we'll see. We got a new boot for the end. We got to do a piston rod extension guy. I don't know. A different size dude with a couple plugs. I don't know what that stuff is, but we just probably just need a boot, a couple lines, bolt the booger on, put some fluid in it, and start bleeding some stuff. So let's get at it, and hopefully this just gets knocked out real quick. Yeah, first thing, I guess, let's get these lines off. Try to. Hopefully they just come right off. That one's a little tight, but she came off. I anticipate them coming off. I anticipate them coming off, I should say. That's pretty good. Looks good. Alright, now that I'm looking at the sizes here, I think is what I'm going to do. We'll tighten that one back up real quick. Go grab a drippy pan. The actual line shouldn't leak because they're at the... Yikes, that one ain't even leaking. This can't be good. You know what we should do? Check and see how much fluid's actually in this thing. Oh my god. That just does not look good at all. I've been running around with some pretty iffy brakes here. Not good. Not good one bit. Yeah, no good. That doesn't look good at all in there. Huh. I didn't really know it was that bad, but hey, now I know. I can tell there's moisture in that fluid. Probably should have kept my eyes on that a little bit better than I did, but hey, I didn't, so got that going for me. I don't know how this angle of this camera was. We're gonna put it back like that-ish somewhere. Hopefully it's good enough. Well, that's a little discouraging. I'm gonna have to make sure I get all the fluid out of the system. If there's moisture here, there's moisture everywhere. I mean, I did do these brakes like, I don't even know how long ago. 8 years ago? Might even touch up these fittings a little bit. Best way to do that, I like to spray. Yep, rattle can. I said it. We're going to use rattle cans today. In the lid, and take a brush and touch up stuff. Used to do that on the older cars. Not a lot you can do besides replace stuff and rebuild things, but hey, that's what it is. Now let's get a socket. Make it easy. 9/16 socket. I honestly haven't worked on this car since I painted this car. It's been kind of, I don't know, discouraging to work on it. My youngest son kind of got on my butt about it, so I spent a lot of time, I don't know, 8-10 weeks working on this Mustang back here. Boy, that don't look good at all. Plug this up so it don't drip. There's a lot of things I need to do under here. Need to clean up wiring. It just doesn't look good at all. Get my inner fender wells in. Get my battery tray bolted down properly. I'd like to do something with the radiator and the radiator fans. Cooling system area needs gone through. That's really about it under here. Get my wiper motor in here and my wipers, my cowl finished up, and get that hood on here. But one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Let's clean up this fitting here a little bit with a wire brush. Get it prepped for the most part. We'll clean them off. Get all the brake fluid off of them before we even put the new one in. And I think I'll clean this area up too. Boy, that's not good at all. Oh, that's okay. Looks like some grease or something in there. It's probably supposed to be in there. Huh. Well, we'll put a little bit of it back on there. Put it back on. Clean that up with a wire brush, and let's paint this stuff up. Get it looking good again. This is what I'll do. This is what I'm going to start with, is clean these ends up of these hoses and reflare them. That way I got a better chance of them sealing up first time. Not to say that they won't if I try putting it on there, but I would sure hate to have to take them back off and fight the room when I can just reflare them again, which is a double flare, and not have a problem going back together. Because the mating surface on that new one is probably a little bit different than the mating surface on the old one. Even though it might be the same angle, it might be a little bit different. So let's do that. That's a good looking flare right there. It's a good looking flare for hand tools here. Yeah, I know. There's a thing called a hydraulic flaring guy out there. Yeah, it'd be nice to have one of those. I don't flare a lot of line. Used to. Don't do it much anymore. Hopefully that booger there seals up. It looks like it will. Looks alright to me. Yeah. Suckers are tight. Flaring lines is never that much fun, but sometimes it's gotta be done. Sometimes you gotta do it. And today is one of those days. Alright. Looks good. Looks pretty good. I didn't smash it all the way down on the double part of the flare for reasons I like it to form itself around the mating surface. I think that's more beneficial than really giving it the good go on the second part of the flare and then not having much cushion for when you go to tighten that thing back down or tighten it down into the new mating surface for the first time. That's just how I like to do it. I haven't had many problems doing that. We've got one down. Let's do the other one real quick. It's got a little bit of corrosion on it, so I'll just lightly sand it. Don't want to make it look too terrible. Just sand the end anyway. Get some of that crap off there. So wheat. Yep, that'll work. That'll do. That'll do. Alright. Bend that booger slightly in a direction to where it's going to go on there. Good enough. They're going to get bent up anyway until they're in their final resting place. Let's take a wire brush to that and touch this up. Coming out pretty good. Might just pop that off. Ooh, both vacuum. That's nice. I don't know. Do somewhat of a good job. No, it ain't the best job. Buy a new one. Just buy a new booster, you know. Spend I don't even know how much they are. 50 to 100 bucks, 150 bucks. I don't even know how much they are. I'm not gonna buy a new one. I'm just gonna clean it up. Make it look fine. I can't see it from inside the car. So, you know. Alright. I think that's pretty much good enough. Now is what I'll do. Since I'm here, I will straighten that a little bit. Well, this is what we're looking at. I went ahead and sanded all that down for the most part, cleaned the whole front of it. I'm going to paint the whole front. I think it'd just be better. And just laid some random things around it so that I don't get too much overspray over everything. Good news is there's a pretty good layer of dust on everything, so when the overspray gets on the stuff, it won't really be on the stuff. Probably just wash off. So we're going to paint this and move on from there. Alright, and what we're using today, Duplicolor engine enamel. This stuff's like 12 bucks a can now. You gotta be kidding me. I about put it back on the shelf. 12 bucks? I don't know. It works pretty good though, especially for stuff that frames. Everything's gonna take a beat and you can just touch it up. Works pretty good rather than, you know, using expensive stuff, or you're really not gonna keep your car in perfect condition if you drive it. That's for sure. And these things are never done, so I do it this way, whatever. It's not the best, I know, I get it. I didn't do everything properly, but you know what? It's gonna be all right for the girls that I don't go out with, so. make it look as good as we possibly can, since we're gonna see it. Take a little bit of pride in our work. Oh yeah, perfect angle. Got it. All better. Now let's move downstairs and get that done. Well, it's not the best of job, but it is what it is. And we're gonna touch this up too, but we gotta shield. We gotta put some shields up. Some of this stuff I really don't want painted on, you know, like my firewall. It's in pretty good shape still. Color of the car and everything else, you know. I mean, might as well protect it a little bit. Take a little bit of pride in things, you know. Let's put one back here. Oh my God, this is just working too good. Working too good. That works nicely. All right, now we gotta tape off a couple things, and this is going quicker than I thought. All right, let's spray her down. Try to blend it in as much as possible so it don't stick out like a sore thumb at least. Gonna get a little on my header, so it's gonna stink, but don't matter to me a whole lot. It should be good. That should be good enough. Then when it gets oh, I don't need to do that. There we go. That'll blend in a lot better. That will be fine. Gets a little roughed up from the, you know, the terrains and the roads and stuff. From driving it, in other words, it should be fine. Covered up that entire freaking mess, and I'm so glad it didn't get on my firewall. That's a different color, and I don't have any of that color left. Let's wait for that power booster to get tacky enough to put on a master cylinder. Looks better than it did. I do notice a couple issues I gotta adjust down there, but it's gonna have to be another day. No, we're still not done. We're still not done. This actually is what I need to do is, I see what that piece is for now. That's odd. See, we need to put that piece in. That's actually what I need to do first. And I need to measure, or at least eyeball, make sure it's close from the contact point to the mating surface of the rod coming out of the inside of the car. That needs to be of a certain distance. Well, my eyeball says it's pretty close, so let's go ahead and put her on. Oh yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Let's see if it'll fit with the boot. The other one does not have one. I don't think I need to put this on, to tell you the truth. Uh-oh. Well, it hit the ground. That's good news. I think that'll just get in the way. I don't think it needs to be on there. The old one does not have it. Yep, we're just going to put it on without it. Already looks better. Well, we're back up in here again. Finally, fought it a little bit, getting the lines on this booger. This one here, I had a leak. I really had to tighten her down. The flare must have been just slightly crooked or something, or just takes one little flaw somewhere. throw it all out of whack. So, start putting this booger back together. And I have to wait for my brother or somebody to come over and help me bleed these brakes. The pedal feels pretty good, actually, but I need to get all this old fluid flushed out and through here. That'd be a pretty smart thing to do anyway. Looks pretty good. Otherwise, looks real good otherwise. Pedal's way freaking firmer than it used to be. So we'll put a little bit more fluid in here. Not all the way to the top, but that's enough. Put the top back on. This looks like it might not leak. I sure freaking hope it don't leak. I am tired of the freaking leak. And I made a mess a couple times, so I gotta go back over and touch up the paint that we just painted. That's fine. That's fine. I kind of expected that, but you kind of hope for the best. It doesn't always work out that way. Oh yeah, that's nice and firm on there. I don't see that leaking. I don't like how it doesn't look factory-like, but it's gonna have to do. It's gonna have to do. It's better than nothing. Looks better than it did. And my next option was Willwood or something like that, and those were expensive. I don't remember what I paid for that, but it wasn't a whole lot. It wasn't outrageous, I'll tell you that. Everything else looks pretty good. I'm gonna put this wheel back on and call this done until I get some help bleeding these brakes. Well, we pretty much got her done. Actually, we are done. Got this replaced and everything touched up from here and down. Which turned out pretty good. Once it gets dirty in there, it'll match the rest of this stuff, but I do need to clean all this too, so it'll be fine. It'll be just fine. That's one step away from getting my hood completed and getting it on here. While I was at it, I did remove all the wheels, put this thing up on jack stands, and my brother did come over and help me push the pedal down and got clean fluid out of all four corners. Really flushed it out, got rid of all that crappy fluid, and checked the adjustment on all four corners too, because this drums all the way around. And when I had the wheels off, I cleaned up the front drums, but I went ahead and painted the rear ones black, wire brushed them up real well, and put a fresh coat of paint on them. It just looks a lot better in here. And once I clean up, you know, the background, which it's just dirty, it just needs cleaned. You need to power wash this thing, which I've never done that. It'll just come right back around and be fine. But got a real good pedal. It should stop really good. Things went well. It was a little bit of work, more than I wanted to do at the time, but we got her done, so now I can drive this car. So we will move on to the next thing, and until then, thanks for watching Tally Go.